Yo guys, what's going on? I'm Tim for the Real Sports Talk. Big MLB news today as MVP candidate outfielder Melky Cabrera of the San Francisco Giants has been suspended 50 games, which is the rest of the season. So that will also go into the first 5 games of the playoffs for a positive test for testosterone. While testosterone is not technically exactly steroids, it's pretty close. It's considered a type of steroid. Let me read off to you what testosterone does. It says, and this is off Wikipedia, it says, in men, testosterone plays a key role in development of reproductive tissues, such as the testes and the prostate, as well as promoting secondary sexual characteristics such as increased muscle, bone mass, and growth of body hair. That part's irrelevant. This other part says it's the principal male sex hormone and an anabolic steroid. And anabolic steroids, for those of you who don't know, there's regular steroids that people just take for any medical problem, and then anabolic steroids are the ones that we've seen other MLB players, NFL players, anyone that's failed the steroid test. That's actually what they're talking about, are anabolic steroids. So Melky Cabrera, this one kind of came out of nowhere, I guess. I think that, let me read you what Melky said first. It says, and going off of how he did that interview in the All-Star game, I tend to think he didn't write this statement. I'm not trying to be racist, but I tend to think he didn't write this. It says, my positive test was a result of my use of a substance I should not have used. I accept my suspension under the joint drug program and will try to move on with my life. I'm deeply sorry for my mistake, and I apologize to my teammates, the San Francisco Giants organization, and to fans for letting them down. So Melky comes out, admits that he used it, he cheated, and we all know what the type of journey that Melky Cabrera's been. With the Yankees, we thought 4th outfielder is best. He's with the Braves, a few other teams. Then he just could not figure it out. Goes to the Royals last year. He really figures it out. Had the most hits in the MLB, I believe, and I think he actually has the most hits again this year. I know for a fact he has the most hits over the last 2 years. He really figured it out last year. Got traded in the offseason for Jonathan Sanchez, and man, that was a lopsided deal. But Jonathan Sanchez goes to the Royals. Melky Cabrera comes here. He was an all-star. He won the all-star game MVP. He's obviously, like I said at the beginning of this video, he's an MVP candidate. So not only is it's rough, it's a black cloud on baseball, because while most of the stars in the MLB have been clean for years, casual baseball fans or baseball haters will see this and say, oh, MLB is just all steroids and stuff like that, and they'll use that as an argument against baseball. The San Francisco Giants fans finally got out of the cloud of having to deal with the Barry Bonds stuff, in terms of every time you were a Giants fan, you bragged about your team, it was Barry Bonds takes steroids. And, well, he did, but it must have been tough as a fan. I'm not a Giants fan, I wouldn't know. But then you get this case, and all of a sudden, Melky Cabrera is a free agent at the end of this year, so maybe they don't keep him after this. But with the season he's had, I tend to think that they will still try and keep him. All of a sudden now, Melky Cabrera is going to be labeled as a guy that used steroids. I mean, really the only person that I can think of that has failed the drug test and pretty much gotten away with it is David Ortiz, because people just kind of seem to forget that, or at least that's my perspective on it. A lot of people have hit me up on Twitter and asked me this. And Melky Cabrera's in 346 this year, 11 home runs, 60 RBIs, having a really good year. A lot of people have asked me, do you think Melky Cabrera singularly got this good because of using the testosterone? That's a tough question for me to answer, because I don't know exactly what Melky Cabrera has done in his off-season conditioning, and maybe he's changed his swing a little bit, stuff like that, the little things that actually make you a much better player. I don't know what type of stuff Melky Cabrera has done like that, so for me to sit here and say that this is the only reason Melky Cabrera has gotten good is probably not fair to Melky. It's probably not fair to anyone involved for me to say that. That being said, it certainly did not hurt Melky Cabrera, and I really wonder if when he went to the Royals last year if he started using that. I know the MLB does this drug program, but Melky Cabrera, I'm not sure exactly how often you have to be tested, so maybe when Melky started using it last year, he wasn't tested, or he started using it after he got tested, whatever. It's a random drug program. I'm just not sure if there's a requirement that you have to be tested once a year, or whatever the case is. So Melky Cabrera could have been using this last year when he broke out with the Royals. He could have been using this the whole year. He could have just used it one time and failed this. I don't know. I'm not Melky Cabrera, and I'm not a Giants fan right now, so it's not bothering me as much. But the thing that is kind of surprising is that he just straight up admitted it. And you don't see a lot of guys do that. A lot of guys will say, oh, it was from some supplement I was using, or a side effect of a drug. Melky Cabrera just comes out straight and says it. The one thing that I think is going to be overshadowing this is the fact that the Giants are right now deadlocked in a divisional race that is very good. They're in the hunt for the wild card. They're currently tied with the Dodgers for the division, right there in the wild card with the Braves and the Pirates, and the Cardinals are making a run right now. Not to mention the Diamondbacks still aren't necessarily out of things. So this is probably the worst possible timing to lose your best overall hitter, a guy that's been anchoring your lineup this year. It will have a trickle-down effect on guys like Pablo Sandoval, guys all throughout this, Hunter Pence, guys all throughout this lineup that are not going to see as many pitches. The good thing is, though, that they did go out and add a guy like Hunter Pence to improve their lineup. So, I mean, if they had lost Melky Cabrera without Hunter Pence, they'd really be in trouble. Right now, I mean, they still have great pitching. They're in a division that, yeah, it's competitive, but it's still winnable. The Pirates have struggled as of late. I think they've lost 4 out of 5, and it's not impossible that they're gonna, or that they can still make the playoffs. The problem is, even when they get to the playoffs, what won the Giants and what wins teams championships in the playoffs is not usually home runs. It's usually just guys that get on base and help their teams win games 1 and 2-0. And Melky Cabrera is that type of guy. He's not a power hitter per se. I mean, he does have some power, but he's a guy that can get on base. He, like I said, is one of the best overall just pure hitters in the game, leads the league in hits. So to lose that for the regular season is tough. If you make the playoffs and you still don't get him back till the NLCS, assuming you make it there, that's rough. And the Giants are in an uphill battle at this point. I wouldn't say it's impossible, but the likelihood that they beat the Dodgers when they're already tied with Melky Cabrera, the likelihood that they're able to beat the Dodgers and make the playoffs and then beat whoever they play the first round, whether it be Cincinnati, Washington, Atlanta, Pittsburgh, whoever is to win that division and win the wild cards that they would be against. So Melky Cabrera suspended 50 games. Let me know what you guys think. I think it's just refreshing to hear someone talk about something besides, oh, Tim Tebow, they closed the media to the Wildcat. I'm just happy to be that someone is finally paying attention to baseball. Unfortunately, as the media usually does, baseball is only going to be covered in a negative situation or the All-Star Game of the World Series. So it sucks, but I'll be here covering all the baseball news. I know Felix Hernandez is throwing a gem today. I think he's perfect through 7 at the time that I'm making this. So if that goes down, I'll make a video as well. Hit me up on Twitter at CashKelly_TRST, KASH Kelly _TRST. Check out therealsportstalk.com, and I'll see you guys later.